Welcome all to the latest C64 Roundup, your guide to all the latest news and releases for your Commodore 64. We have a good mix of content for you this episode, but let's start off with the Game of the Month. Get ready to embark on an exploration adventure as you take control of Tony Hully as he traverses through Montezuma's castle in Tony Montezuma's Gold. Tony is a flip-screen platform game spread across 5 levels with gameplay inspired by Montezuma's Revenge. The overall objective of the game is to locate a legendary artifact called Montezuma's Mask, all while avoiding a myriad of deadly enemies and obstacles littered throughout the game. The basic premise to each level is to collect keys to unlock locked sections of the game, and to locate a masked icon that is essential to complete each level. Along the way you can collect jewels for points, which will come in handy as you are given an extra life for every 3,000 points you accumulate. You'll also find health potions which effectively work as one-time use shields that will protect you should you come into contact with enemy characters. The initial main draw to the game is the use of two-tone colour high-res graphics that are quite detailed in many areas. You have the option to switch to a number of different colour combinations, which I think is a clever addition. The in-game music soundtracks are impressive and never get dull to listen to, though switching to sound effects mode will give you a little bit of an edge when it comes to hearing when hazards are about to come on screen. Control-wise, Tony is highly responsive, but it does contain a fixed jumping mechanism which takes a little getting used to initially and can make certain jumps a little tricky. In essence, Tony is a very well executed platform game with a few clever things thrown in. It doesn't necessarily bring anything new to the genre, but I know that many of you are happy to have more of the same, and if this is you, then Tony should be right up your alley. Tony is both PAL and NTSC compatible, and as I was involved with the NTSC testing side of things, I can confirm that I preferred playing the game in this mode over PAL. So for once, we have a win for our North American friends. Tony will be formally released on June 7 as a digital download, with pre-orders for the disc and cartridge versions already being taken from K&A Plus magazine website. Time for some more cool stuff where we take a look at Commodore 64 related items outside of the usual games, demos and pixel art. Breadbox for the Windows PC is a Commodore-themed computer virtual simulator that currently accommodates the PET, VIC-20 and C64 machines. The application tries to recreate the essence of sitting in front and interacting with these machines, and given that many RGN viewers do not actually own or use a physical setup, I thought it would be interesting to take a quick look through Breadbox. Launching into the C64 simulator, the virtual environment is attractively presented in a slightly isometric perspective. The screen contains a number of hot zones in which you can click on in order to zoom into and interact with various hardware components. I must admit that I kind of got a mild kick out of doing this, as all of the expected clicks and thuds are quite satisfying as I played around with the various hardware. And the animated keyboard presses and joystick movement is a nice touch. And you even get animation of plugging a joystick in and out of control ports. Anyway, let's switch the computer on and try out the emulation on offer. Oops, better not forget the monitor. You can zoom into the monitor to get a better view of the emulator. Commands can be input using your PC keyboard, or you can alternatively click on the simulator's keyboard. But it is here that I notice a bit of a lag between pressing a key and a character appearing on screen, which dampens the experience. The left side of the menu can be used to select the disc, cassette and cartridge images that you'd like to use, with an image of the media type appearing when you do activate it. Loading a game from diskette is as simple as clicking on the disc to bring it into focus, and a left mouse click again to insert it into the drive. Ready for you to type in commands to bring up the directory listing, or load it up to run a game in real time. As I start to play the game, I once again notice the lag between input and the action on screen. When I take a look at Breadbox system requirements, I see that my 11th generation Intel i5 PC with integrated graphic chip is not sufficient somehow. This is probably the reason for the application's poor performance, but it does beg the question, why does a simulator need a high-end PC to operate smoothly? Well, to be fair, the application is still in early access stage, and the developers are still in the process of obtaining feedback and optimizing the software. So hopefully we can see some improvement here in the near future. Anyway, let's try loading a game from cassette. Click on the image of the cassette to bring it into focus, and then left mouse click to insert it into the dataset. Press Shift and Run Stop on the keyboard, and then click on the play button, and we're off. Time to make a cup of tea. The lag is really noticeable when playing Goodnight. Zooming into the monitor does reduce this a little, but it's still not playable. Okay, so let's play a game from a cartridge. Folks, remember to have your C64 switched off before inserting a cart. Breadbox is an interesting project that targets a very niche audience. It is not as efficient as using an emulator in the usual way, nor can it fully capture the feeling of using real hardware. I was somewhat skeptical about Breadbox when I decided to take the plunge and pay for a copy, but was surprised with the enjoyment I did get from playing around with it. In its current unfinished state, it would be hard to recommend Breadbox, and even if the developers can optimize the simulator to reduce lag on low to mid-end PCs, I suspect the novelty of using a virtual world to play C64 games will wear thin in the long run. Time to check out what other new game releases I've been playing over the past few weeks. Haplo and Andy Johns have teamed up again to provide us with an interesting take on the puzzle platform genre with their latest release, Shift. Set out in a monochromatic environment, Shift offers some mind-bending gaming as you flip the game environment inside out in order for you to reach the exit door on each level. The process of inverting the game screen, turning floors into ceilings and obstacles into pathways does take a little getting used to, and you'll find yourself completing levels more by trial and error. Each level you progress through offers something new, ensuring that the gameplay is interesting all throughout its 36 levels, with an additional secret level hidden somewhere within. Shift is both PAL and NTSC compatible and is available as a free digital download from itch.io. Drip is an arcade-style game with 15 levels where your objective is to move along the pipes of each floor and rush them in order to advance to the next level. Pressing the joystick button allows your Drip to jump down to a different section of the pipe, and there are a couple of random items you can collect, such as stars that allow you to eliminate enemy characters in a similar vein to picking up a power pill in Pac-Man, and bubbles that allow you to freely move your Drip anywhere across the screen, though using it in an effective manner proved to be more trouble than it's worth. There are 4 different level themes on offer: ice, acid, fire and bacteria, and after completing every 3rd floor, you're given the chance to win extra lives through a bonus round. Drip is certainly a challenging game, but the main problem I found was the lack of progressive gameplay on offer, as every level feels the same, albeit with some more enemies being added gradually, and the control mechanism is not responsive enough, resulting in turning into corners being missed time after time. Drip will run in PAL and NTSC modes, but it's not optimised for NTSC. The game is available as a free digital download from itch.io. Sky Savior is a fixed-screen shoot-'em-up where your objective is to defend a futuristic city from a bizarre alien insect invasion. Intercept and eliminate the enemies before they reach the city's centre, but to do this you'll need to make sure you manage your ammo, as your ship can only carry 7 shells at a time. To reload, descend down into the city's centre, but note that you cannot shoot while reloading. The amount of points you receive for each kill will depend on how many shells you have at the time, with each shell counting for 1 point, and shooting enemies without missing will add 10 points to your scoring chain. Dropping down into the city will bank the points you've accumulated. Your ship is invulnerable to enemy collisions, but a direct bullet hit to your ship will cost you a life. What looks like a pretty basic shooter turned out to be somewhat fun, with ammo management providing a good challenge element to the game. Sky Savior won't have you returning to it for multiple sessions, but what is there is enjoyable for a one-time play. The game is available as a free digital download from itch.io. Broken Mirror is a joystick-driven point-and-click adventure game where your objective is to find out who you are as you wake up disorientated in a damp and cold cell within a building basement. Broken Mirror is very easy to play. The controls are intuitive, with the icon changing whenever you come across something of note, and the puzzle elements within the game are set at a casual difficulty. The in-game music soundtrack is used very well to provide an atmospheric environment, and while the graphics are not anything special, they do contain a certain nostalgic charm to them that I personally appreciated. I had a great time playing Broken Mirror. The game's story had me hooked from the time I uncovered the first dead person, and keeps you in as you gradually find file scripts revealing who you might be and what has been occurring in the house. Broken Mirror is NTSC compatible, though I think it is playable on a PAL machine. The game is available as a free digital download. Timo's Castle is a single-screen platformer where you play the role of Timo, a Scottish prince of a noble house who has inherited a country estate with a small neglected castle. The castle carries a curse, and Timo's girlfriend Amber suddenly disappears while the couple work on restoring the property. The objective to each level is that Timo must pick up all collectible items in order to reveal a key that unlocks the exit. Drawing heavy nostalgic inspiration from Henry's house, Timo's Castle adds a number of modern-day principles along with a bright and vibrant graphical style, blending them successfully together. The game is very easy to pick up and play, and while the gameplay only contains 8 levels, each has a distinctive look and gameplay. You can't help but be pulled into the graphics on offer, and I really appreciated the personal touches added to the overall design, where musical interludes and graphical effects are triggered when collecting specific items. Another nice touch is the inter-level cutscene showing Timo walking from one room to the next. The control mechanics within Timo's castles are spot on, though there is a bit of guesswork when it comes to deciphering which parts of the game world can be safely walked upon. I enjoyed how some levels contain light trickle-based puzzle elements, adding another layer to the overall gaming experience. The inclusion of endless continues should allow most players to get through most of the levels, but the game rewards the player who finishes it in one go with a nice looking end screen. Timo's Castle is a charming and fun game that should be experienced by every C64 gamer. The game is now both PAL and NTSC compatible and available as a digital purchase from itch.io and as a physical release through Bitmapsoft. And that is a wrap on another C64 roundup. Hope you enjoyed it and found some things of interest. Links to all releases featured in the episode can be found in the video description. The C64 Roundup series will be taking a break for a couple of months, but be on the lookout for other Commodore related gaming videos in between then. Until next time, bye for now.